Ms. Luce, you are suing the defendant for $2,716.86 back child care expenses for your son, Marley.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say there's no need for a paternity test because you're certain he is your baby's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Zuniga, you say you don't owe her a dime. Because you're not her son's father, you've petitioned the court for a lie detector test and a paternity test because not only are you not his father, but you claim to know who his real daddy is.
Yes, Your Honor.
The court will reveal the results of the lie detector test and determine if a paternity test should be ordered. Ms. Luce, why do you feel like Mr. Zuniga has completely abandoned you and your son?
For the first 4 months of my son's life, he was there. He stepped up. He was a man. He wanted to be his father. He was excited about everything. And then all fell through. He abandoned us. I had to take care of my son alone on my own. I had to pay for every little bit of the expenses, all the diapers, all the wipes, every single piece of clothing he needed. I have the receipts here. I've had to do it all alone, and I feel as if he owes me at least half of the money that I've had to put into raising my child alone.
Let me see the evidence you brought. Jerome, when you say everything was going well and then he abandoned you, why? Why do you think that happened?
He hasn't seen him in a little over a year. He hasn't seen him since he was 4 months old. My son has no idea who he is.
Mr. Zuniga, did you abandon them?
First of all, Your Honor, I didn't feel like I abandoned him. At first, really, I never really thought the kid was mine. From day one, she seemed easy. We had sex the first day.
So have you helped at all with Marley?
Yeah.
Any money, any financial support?
Well, yeah, I did. At first, I spent all my tax money. Last year, I got a substantial amount, and I spent every dime on him. I didn't spend one dime on myself.
Ms. Luce, is that true? Has he given any money?
He might have put money into a crib. He might have put money into the little things he needed then, but he didn't do anything else after that.
And you've presented to the court evidence of expenses you've had to incur.
By myself.
Including diapers, Similac, baby food, feeding set, bibs, onesies, all things a baby needs, totaling $2,716.86. Mr. Zuniga, I need to understand your doubt.
First of all, I never really knew her.
Okay, you slept with her, right?
I met her.
Oh, no, answer my
through a
question.
mutual friend.
You
Yeah.
slept with her, right?
Yes.
Did you use protection?
No.
Well, you know her now.
Yes.
Okay, proceed.
I was new to the town. Well, I found out that she never really stayed in relationships long, and that she liked to jump from guy to guy.
Miss Luce, were you sleeping with other men when you were sleeping with Mr. Zuniga?
No, not one. I did sleep with a few men after him, but I was only sleeping with him when we were together.
Okay,
But
Mr. Zuniga,
not
do
the
you have
matter
any
at
other
hand.
children?
No, ma'am. I've always thought I was sterile.
You do.
Yes. Putting the long relationships aside and trying to have, kids with them and consulting doctors. I did a lot of sports. I've had a lot of sports-related injuries. I think that might have something to do with it. I've been in at least 3 long-term relationships where I've tried to have children with them.
And you have not had a child?
No.
So you believe your relationship with Miss Luce also could
If
not.
not-
So you don't have any doubt?
No.
You
not at
haven't
all.
slept with anybody else in your mind?
I was committed when we first started hanging out. I stayed at home with my godbrother, taking care of his kids until he got off work.
Your Honor, may I add something?
Yes, sir. What would you like to add?
While I was at work, I asked her what she used to do. And she used to tell me she was going to her brother figure house and getting her moped fixed. I mean, that thing's probably still broke right now.
Oh, so you believe she was going over to this other gentleman's house
Not
and he
only
wasn't
do
a
I
brother
believe
figure,
that-
he was really...
There's this one instance where this lady came up to me and she told me that while I was with her, she was cheating on me the whole time with her husband. And he looks just like the father. Red hair and blue eyes.
Okay, so the gentleman he's talking about, Ms. Luce, have you had a relationship with this man?
I did have sex with him. There was the relationship, but that was after we split. The brother figure he's talking about is my godbrother. I had to help him raise his kids. That's where I was living. I was
But you
there.
weren't sleeping with him?
No.
Do you have any reason why Mr. Zuniga doubts you so much?
I honestly believe it's only because he thinks he's sterile and that he can't have kids. I gave him no reason to feel as if I was cheating on him.
What about right after you left me? How you got with that one guy from the park? And then right after that, you started getting with the bouncer.
With a bouncer?
While you were with him.
No, I was only with two different people at separate times after I slept with him.
Really?
Yes.
Because that's not what they think.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. How long were you two together?
Not 2.5 weeks, maybe.
Did you say 2.5 weeks?
Yes, Your Honor. As far as I know, she could have been pregnant before I even got with her.
Why are you young people running around having unprotected sex with people you knew for 2 weeks? Okay, Miss Luce, you worrying me now. Yeah. Because, no, you're a beautiful young girl, and I don't want you living up to your last name. So, Miss Luce, you brought a witness today.
Yes.
Who did you bring?
His mother.
Jerome, can you please escort Miss Vertigan into the courtroom? Hello, ma'am.
Hello, Your Honor.
Thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Now, you are Mr. Zuniga's mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Explain to the court how you feel about this
I
situation.
love my son. Don't get me wrong. I really honestly love my son. And I would be on my son's side, but his reasonings are crazy to me. What makes you have a baby? Sex. What did they do? Have unprotected sex. I submitted pictures earlier to the courts of how much they look alike.
First of all, Your Honor, my mom, she's always wanted me to have kids. Once I got of age, I got older and started
Oh
settling
my
down.
goodness, no, Your Honor, I didn't want him sleeping with nobody.
She told me herself that she was that age
She
to
didn't
be a
even
grandmother.
speak to me until after we found out I was
wouldn't even
pregnant
speak to
because she
her.
thought I was just a fling.
Because my son goes through women like toilet paper. I did not want to speak to her. But Your Honor, if you look at those pictures, their eyes look so much alike, and they have the same features, the dark circles. My grandson was born with jaundice, Your Honor,
I
and
came
my
out-
son was born with jaundice.
I came
My
out with
son
a
has a
full head
muscle
of hair.
spasm in his eye.
Brown hair.
My grandson
brown
has a
eyes.
muscle
I look
spasm
just
in
like
his
my
eyes.
father. This kid looks nothing like
Yes, because my son is 50% Mexican. His dad was 100%. Does he look like my son, Your Honor?
Listen, we have learned, Jerome, now you can testify
Looks
for
don't
me on
mean
this.
nothing sometimes.
Looks
It don't.
sometimes have nothing to do with the
Amen.
DNA.
Okay, but what about the jaundice? Both had jaundice.
So, Miss Luce, let me ask you this. You found out you were pregnant. You told him. Did he go to a doctor's appointment?
He wasn't at any of the doctor's appointments, but he made sure that he had to get to the hospital when
So
I
he
had
was
my
there.
son.
I did drive
I was
3.5
there.
hours there.
Yeah.
It was snowing. I drove through the snow and everything, and I also
Your
drove
Honor.
back. I drove there because I didn't believe the kid was going to
Oh,
come
no,
out
no, no,
looking
no,
like
no,
me.
no. Your Honor, can I stop
When
for a
I
minute?
drove there, I wanted to validate that he
Oh,
would be
no,
my
no,
kid.
no.
I got there, he looked nothing like me. He
No.
looked a lot like that
So
kid that
when you heard the
she
baby was
cheated on me
coming,
with.
you drove 3.5 hours. You said, I want to go see this baby.
No, Your Honor.
Yes.
Did you sign the birth certificate?
I did at first, and then she lost the paperwork. So then
Well, wait a minute.
3.5
Before we
hours
get to the
back.
part where you
I-
lost the paperwork, you drove 3.5 hours because you said you wanted to see if the baby looks like you.
And
So
the-
if you signed the birth certificate, that I would presume that you thought it looked like you.
Babies don't look like nobody when they're born.
Right here, we have in the monitor a picture of you holding the baby.
Well, I'm not a jerk, Your Honor. I didn't have a dad.
You agreed to give him your last
Your Honor,
name.
honestly,
Yes.
I
didn't
need
give
to
him
say
my
this.
last
Yes.
name.
This
She
is
did that
important.
without my
Hold on.
consent.
Yes,
This is
Ms.
important to
Vertigan,
me.
say what you need
He
to say.
was so upset we couldn't make it. He was mad. He was throwing things around in the house. He was upset we couldn't leave right then and there to watch his son be born because his dad wasn't there. Were you not?
I was.
And you feel very emotional because
Because he went through it. He went through it without a dad, and he's gonna have the same thing happen.
The more I see him grow up, the less he looked like me.
It
Because he doesn't
matter.
know you.
And he doesn't have to look like you. You don't look like me the more you grew up, but I knew you came from me.
Yeah, but I came straight from you. There's no doubt in that.
It doesn't matter.
I know who the
It's-
father is. He has red hair.
ultimately, Mr. Zuniga, that's the reason you requested a lie detector test because you believed she was sleeping with other people. So was that during the window of conception?
The guy I got with knew I was pregnant, but I hadn't went to the doctors to get it verified.
I understand that now. I'm ready to go to the lie detector results. These results will determine whether or not a DNA test will be ordered. You met with a licensed polygraph professional
Yes,
who has more than 20 years experience.
Yes.
And you took this test. You were asked if you ever had sexual relations with any other man while dating Pedro, which is Mr. Zuniga. You said no. The lie detector determined deception indicated.
That's not a shocker.
It is this court's finding that because you were with another man during the time you were also with Mr. Zuniga, we're going to order a paternity test. And I order both of you leave here immediately, submit to the testing, and return to this courtroom where we will have the results. Are we clear?
Yes,
That's
Your
why
Honor.
I'm
Jerome,
here, Your
please
Honor.
escort them out. Court is adjourned. We're back in session in the case of Luce versus Zuniga. They have submitted to the paternity testing, and Jerome, please escort them both into the courtroom, please.
Hey folks, come on with me. How you doing?
Ms. Luce, Mr. Zuniga, welcome back. You've both submitted to the DNA testing. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And before we get to the results of that testing, Ms. Luce, I have to ask you, is there anything else you'd like to say to Mr. Zuniga?
Yes. You were there from the start.
Yeah.
You started out being a good dad, then you vanished. You abandoned your own kid.
I did more than anybody would have done regarding
You're acting
the
just
fact
like
that
your dad
she
when you
lied.
promised me you would.
lied
You
on a
need to be the
polygraph.
father of your son.
Oh my God,
deceptive.
like that
You've been
matters. That has
deceptive.
nothing to do with it. Why'd you step
It
up
proves
before?
everything, because it proves what I've been thinking the whole time.
No, but you know
and
what
I'm
it's
still
like.
here trying to, figure out if this
You were
kid's
there
mine
before.
or not.
You need
That
to
way
step up
I
and
can
be
step
there
up.
again.
Well, I will if it's my kid, but I don't believe you. Everything shows me
So,
that
Mr.
you're
Zuniga,
lying.
let me understand. I see you all are very frustrated today. And I believe it was due to the results of the lie detector test
Yep.
that I
doesn't
revealed
matter.
in our previous session. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You're feeling like your doubts about the child have only been further
Yeah, like-
solidified.
Pretty much confirmed everything I've been thinking from the beginning.
You're the one that
never
wanted
had.
me to move in with you. So you can be part of his life, so you can be
And the whole
closer to him
time
because you claimed him
and
as
you moved
yours.
away, and you want me to be there, but
It
you
doesn't
move
matter.
away.
He was there though. And he
You're
did
full of
step up for
excuses
me.
and lies.
Miss
That's all
Vertigan,
there is.
Mom, why are you so upset? You're
Because I went through this. I was her, and I don't want the same
You should be
thing.
on my side.
I
You're my
do. I
mother.
love
You don't
you.
even know her. I know the facts.
This little boy didn't ask to be here.
Yeah.
He doesn't need any of this.
No, he doesn't, and he doesn't need the lies that you've been doing. You lied on your test. You're lying to me.
The test doesn't matter.
This is a baby, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
well,
He didn't ask to be here.
He knows the truth. And so
Well,
what-
family, one thing I can say, Mom, is that you are correct. This is an innocent
It's gotta
child
stop.
that didn't ask to be here, and I know doesn't want to grow up in this mess.
No.
Ultimately, that's what's important.
Yes,
And that's
ma'am.
why we're going to get the results,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then I will rule on your suit.
That's
Jerome, the
what I'm-
envelope, please. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Luce versus Zuniga, pertaining to 1-year-old Marley Zuniga. Mr. Zuniga. In the case of Luce versus Zuniga, pertaining to 1-year-old Marley Zuniga. It has been determined by this court Mr. Zuniga, you are his father.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. My grandson, you say you're sorry. You need to tell him you're sorry.
But look at him.
And you tell him you're sorry. Look at him. Yes, look at him. Maybe that's yours.
But you lied.
Okay, but look at you.
Yes, I may
All right,
have
we're
lied
getting over
compared
that.
to
We're getting
whatever
over
test
that.
says it. He is your son.
Say you're sorry.
But the test just proves that I was right.
All right, so what we gotta do now is we gotta figure out how to let this go. I wanna talk to you all in my chambers because I can see right now you all gonna run out of here because you're getting on my nerves, you're gonna get on Marley's nerves, and we need to talk about this. Meet me in my chambers. Court is adjourned. Mr. Wilson, you state you are on the verge of a divorce because your wife believes that fidelity is optional. You say that during your marriage, she cheated on you with both friends and exes, which you believe resulted in the birth of her son, 8-month-old Waylon. You say you are not Waylon's biological father, and you intend to prove that today. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mrs. Wilson, while you admit to stepping out on your husband, you claim Mr. Wilson knows full well he is baby Waylon's father and is only denying him in an attempt to shirk his responsibilities. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Wilson, what do you mean she believes fidelity is optional?
Your Honor, she is a cheater. She's cheated from 2 weeks of us being together in the beginning. She lies a lot. She's been a liar ever since then. And there was a time when we got in an argument. She told me to leave. I left for one night and I came back. The next morning she was begging me to come back. I came back and there was a hickey on her neck. It was about the size of a baseball. And she said that her dog had jumped off the bed and hit her, the nose of her dog hit her in the neck.
Okay, so you feel like you've had example after example, situation after situation, where Ms. Wilson's response to the situation is sketchy.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Wilson, why are you cheating on Mr. Wilson? What is the reason?
Okay, well, all that is true. He also cheated. He did the same things. So he's not innocent, and he wants to act like he's not Waylon's daddy, and he is.
Okay, but you understand that the reason why we're here is because of the paternity of your baby.
Yes.
If you're gonna do the tit for tat, if you're gonna do the back and forth, if you're gonna play his game, you're gonna lose. Because we've got a baby now 8 months old, and we don't know for certain who his father is. So do you have any other evidence, Mr. Wilson, that would make us understand why you're so doubtful?
Yes, Your Honor. On Valentine's Day, I went and bought her some flowers, and we were gonna meet at a family member's house of mine, and I got there before she did, and my family member's boyfriend at the time had told me that she was there a couple days before Valentine's Day, telling them that she was gonna leave me that following Friday. So I felt stupid.
Okay,
Oh, you
but
came with the flowers
also-
and they informed you she's about to leave you.
Yes, Your Honor.
So after that, what happens? You just figure out how to continue on in the marriage? You just, all right, I'll sweep that under the rug, and what happens?
Not long after that, maybe 2 weeks later, she does leave, and I was at my house. And
Oh,
my
so
friend,
she actually does leave the home?
Yes, Your Honor.
But only because there was so much drama. There was everybody was just harassing me. He was constantly on my case, and I couldn't handle it no more. Not with two kids at the time, and it was just too much of a hassle.
During that time, Your Honor, my friend was over, and he was using my phone, and he just had asked me if he could use my car, and I told him yes. And he gives my phone back to me. So I get on social media thinking it's my social media. It was still logged in his stuff. So I go on there thinking I'm in mine, and I'm reading messages that I know I didn't send. And it was her and him texting, her telling him to ask if he could borrow my car so he could come see her. So
What?
Yes, Your Honor. So I call her and I ask her about it, and she says she didn't say anything. She just hung up.
When did this happen?
Like maybe 3 weeks.
After the flowers?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so did you start sleeping with your husband's friend?
Yes, I did. I slept with him in April, but I conceived my son in early March. When I went to the doctor, they told me that my conception dates was March 1st to March 15th.
That's low, Miss Wilson. No, I mean, you something else. You told his friend to borrow his car to come pick you up. So go get my husband's car to come get me.
I didn't ever say to go get his car and come pick me up, no.
Yes, Your Honor.
How
No.
do you just sleep with your husband's friend?
Well, when he don't give you no attention, don't give your kids no attention, and gives everybody else attention, you gotta give his attention somehow.
I guess she answered that, Jerome.
On point.
So you decided, I'm gonna go and date his friend, have sex with his friend, even though I'm still married to my husband, and you find out about this through these messages.
Yes.
So do you ever say anything to your friend, Mr. Wilson?
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
We ended up getting into a fight, and I ended up leaving, and they stayed together after that.
And now you believe he is Waylon's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Wilson, you testified that this started with the friend in April.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor.
Let's look at the conception dates and see what's going on here. When was Waylon born?
December 15th, 2017.
December 15th, 2017. Was he a full-term baby or not?
He was born at 38 weeks.
38 weeks. So that would make the window of conception April 1st to April 7th, 2017.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Your answer, so I guess we'll see.
I guess we will. I mean, I'm almost 100% positive he is the father.
Almost 100%.
Can I add in
Almost 100%.
Can I add in something, Your Honor? I've heard her say herself that she thinks it could be his.
Step up to the podium, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I've heard her
State
say...
your name for the court since you jumping in the conversation.
Krista Guyton.
Miss Guyton, in what relationship are you to Mr. Wilson?
We're together. We have a 1-month-old.
But I'm the bad guy.
Oh, so you're his girlfriend
And
and
they
you
got
have a
a baby.
1-month-old
With him.
with him, but you still married to her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, ain't this messy? So what did you want to add, Miss Guyton?
I've heard her say herself multiple times that it could be Taylor's and could be the friends that she cheated on him.
So she has said to you multiple times that
Both
they're...
of us. Yes, she said
Oh,
it.
even to you, Mr. Wilson.
I
Yes,
said
ma'am.
they have that he has features of both Mr. Wilson and the friend.
Well, Miss Wilson, you started your testimony by saying that you know that he is the father. But then when we uncovered the conception calendar and realized that the window of
I mean,
conception
there is a possibility. I'm not going to sit here and act like there's not, but the chances of him being the other person's, the friends, is slim. Like, seriously.
So after you hear that testimony, Mr. Wilson, that in fact, April 1st to April 7th is the window of time that Waylon was conceived, I'm sure that even further fuels your doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a relationship with Waylon?
No, Your Honor. The whole time she was going through her pregnancy, she was with him. She and him both were posting on social media that they were going to have a baby. They were going to have a family. So I stepped back and you know.
And
gave
the
them
reason
space.
why was because he stepped up when you stepped down. You didn't even come around for your girls for the longest time.
I mean, if you're having sex with a friend, what, I'm supposed to stick around?
You're supposed to come around for your kids.
And so hold on, Ms. Wilson, so you're saying that's true. That when you had sex with
I
his
did,
friend,
yes,
you all
because-
fell out, and you and the friend start posting pictures like you two were having a baby together.
Yes, because he was the one that stepped up and was like, I'm going to be here for this kid. But then later on he stepped down too, but
Don't they always?
yes, they do. He's talking about how I'm such a bad person and everything.
I never
I don't
said
think
she was a
he's
bad
ever
person.
said
But
you're a
he-
bad person.
No.
Well, no, but
and I
he's
never
making
claimed
me out.
to be perfect.
No,
I do
because
make
you're
mistakes.
doing the same thing that I did to you, to Krista.
And what's that?
You've
What
been
did I do
doing
to
it
you?
this whole
What
time
did I
y'all
do to
been
you?
together.
Answer me that.
What?
What did I do to you?
You ain't done nothing to me, and you've done a lot to me, actually. If we get technical, you've cheated just
What's
as
he
much
doing
as I
to
have.
you?
What is he
Has
doing?
he not
to-
slept with me while he's been with you?
Not recently.
No,
Actually,
Not since we got
within
back
the
together.
past 3 months, yeah.
You are, okay.
Yeah.
So
After
wait,
we got
you're
back
saying
together,
that
we had-
you're still having sex with your husband while he's with Miss Guyton?
No, we
No.
haven't been recently, but he has in the past.
around like Halloween last year.
No.
Yeah.
But
I have.
every time
No.
we have broken up would be because of them, and they would have sex at that time. But we were never together, only on Halloween last year.
Okay.
Because he has no reason to lie. She told me everything, then he told me everything, and it all added up. Only one time while we was together.
It just keeps getting worse.
Your Honor, might I add
So
something?
you're cheating on your girlfriend with your wife. I don't think that makes sense. I don't think that's possible. But it is, because it's happening. What in the world is going on here with you people? You're young people, and I know you don't know whether you're coming or you're going. But this is very convoluted. When you have Waylon, who's with you? Who's
No
in the
one.
hospital?
No one.
You
Your
have
Honor.
the baby all by yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I can see that hurts. That had to hurt. What did that feel like, Ms. Wilson?
It was hard.
And what were you thinking at that time? Were you regretting the whole thing and you feel like you should have just been with your husband? Like, what could you be thinking after all of that?
I did regret it. I regretted it a lot. But, we made mistakes. We both did things that we didn't mean to do because we were young.
Did you tell your husband, Mr. Wilson, I'm having the baby. If you want to come up here, I do believe there's a good chance.
I did, and he told me that he would be up there and then never showed up.
So you just went through with it by yourself.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is his name on the birth certificate?
No, ma'am.
Your Honor, in the state of Georgia, if you were married, if the father's not present during birth, the legal wife can sign the father's name on the birth certificate. If she was so sure that I was the father, why
Am
did she
I a
not sign my
lawyer? Did
name?
I know that?
And so you believe, Mr. Wilson, that she had the opportunity to put your name on that birth certificate if she truly believed you were the biological father.
Yes, Your Honor. But I have seen, there was a time not too long ago, I was visiting my kids. She started crying, and I asked what was wrong. She said, do you want to know why I always take Waylon to her friend's house? Because every time I go over there, he's never there. That's why I have no relationship with him. Well, she said she can't stand to look at him because every time she looks at him, she sees the other guy.
I never said that. I said that he has features of the other guy, but he also has features of you.
This is so complicated. It's a baby born within a marriage. The husband's not on the birth certificate. And you say, as a mother, you sitting there comparing features, saying some parts of him look like my husband and some parts of him look like this other guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
So if your husband is not Waylon's biological father, then what?
I guess I don't know. I really don't. Because I can't even be around the other guy.
Can I ask you something else? Are you also hoping that if he's the father, maybe at some point you all can get back together and be a family?
No, Your Honor, I don't want that.
You're okay with that?
I'm okay with that.
You've moved on from the marriage.
I have. Yes,
But you
Your Honor.
do want him to be your
I
child.
just want him to step up and be a daddy to not only Waylon, but to my other two too. Because he is slacked really bad. I have them 24/7 and he gets them once a month for maybe a weekend, and that's it. I want him to step up. Just like I told him, I don't want his money. I don't want none of that. I want him to be a dad to his kids. That's all I ask.
That's exactly what we want, if Waylon is his biological child. And I think I've heard enough testimony, and I'm ready for the results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostic, and they read as follows. In the case of Wilson versus Wilson, when it comes to 8-month-old Waylon Wilson, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Wilson, you are the father. Wow.
told you. That's your little boy.
And knowing that now, I mean, I can have a relationship.
You have missed 8 months of his life.
But whose fault is that, Haley?
You could have still stepped up, Taylor. Do you know how much stuff you have missed from him?
Yeah, but when you're going, we're having a kid, and then you're going to jump to the next person, oh, he's the dad. You can't do that. You got to be an adult. Be a mother.
Be a father. Be there for your kids, all of them, not just one.
Well, if this court case was about the other kids, there's reasons too, Haley, and you know that.
Well, listen, this is why we're here, and this is why we do this. We do this to get clarity. We do this to get the truth. This says to me that there are 2 other children in this world that probably think they have a dad. Meanwhile, every day their father picks them up, he's looking at them thinking, I don't even know if these are my kids. And that's why I'm ordering you to return to this courtroom